All right, what's up guys? Good to see you. Welcome to today's video. We've got a fun little Q&A for today's video. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to the people over at Formula for sponsoring me and making this video possible. So what's inside this little box right here is personalized nootropics. Now, if you've never heard of the word nootropics before, basically, it's like brain drugs or smart drugs as people in the biohacking community call it. So when I first started the ketogenic diet, I started bumping shoulders with like really smart people who were all into biohacking. And the one word that I kept hearing them talk about was nootropics. So I did some research looking into them. Essentially, they're supplements that make you smarter. The problem is it's a very confusing world. You have to combine a lot of these supplements together. I dabbled in it a little bit. I ordered some online and it just didn't really work. So I was kind of bummed out and I ended up quitting them. Then this company here, Formula, hit me up and they said, hey, have you ever tried nootropics before? I told them my story. They had the perfect solution. So what they do, they are the first ever company in the world to offer personalized nootropics. So they sent me to their website, findmyformula.com. I answered a bunch of questions about myself, what I do for a living, how my day is structured, what my morning routine is like, what my nighttime routine is like, all these different questions for them to know more about me and what's important in my life. Then they took those answers, crossed it with like this huge database, and then spit out a custom formula of nootropics. So let me show you what I got here. 2 days later, this box shows up. So one of my nootropics is energy. I absolutely love this stuff. I take it first thing in the morning. It gives me just a great, like even keel energy with no crashes. It's a blend of like 4 or 5 different nootropics. You open it up, comes in a little pack like this, and you take it. The other one that I got was creativity, because I guess I'm a YouTuber and I told him how I have to edit, spend long hours editing and shooting and coming up with cool videos and things like that. So this stuff is really great as well. This kind of puts me in the zone. All you have to do is go to findmyformula.com. I'm gonna put a link in the description of this video below. Answer the quiz, see what formula they recommend. If you want to pull the trigger and try it out, I highly recommend it. Okay, so I'm pulling these questions from Instagram, so thank you everybody who asked the questions. There are a ton of questions it looks like, so I'm gonna try and keep my answers very brief. Also, just to make it fun, I have not pre-read these questions. I'm just gonna take them as they come. All right, Amy asks, have you gained the weight you've been trying to gain? So if you're new to my channel, if you see me for the first time, over the past month, I've been trying to gain 10 pounds. It was a bet that I made with my wife that I could gain 10 pounds before she could lose 10 pounds. The problem was I'd been doing the ketogenic diet for the past 4 years. I've tried to gain weight / bulk on keto using several different strategies and it was not working then, and I sure as hell knew it wasn't gonna work now. So I went back to carbohydrates. I always preach that if you want to lose weight, you got to cut the carbs. So it only makes sense that if you want to gain weight, you got to put the carbs back in. So far, it's been working great. I am 2 pounds away from my goal. So I woke up this morning at 154. I need to get to 156. I started at 146. So far so good. I'm definitely going to hit my goal. I'm not necessarily in a huge rush, but I'm thinking in the next week or two, we're going to be there. How many years have you been working out? So I've been working out since I was probably about 12 years old. Not because I was really like wanting to build muscle and I like picked up a magazine and fell in love with it. It was kind of an escape for me at a young age. So my parents were divorced growing up. I went through some hard times, single mom, things were tough. I had the best parents in the world, but I didn't process it all very well. I was very young. I felt like I wasn't really in control of a lot of aspects of my life and I acted out a lot. I was a terrible kid, right? Doing poorly in school, not making many friends, giving my mother a very hard time. And I was grounded a lot. Like I got excused from the dinner table almost every single night. It was almost like I would just go up to prison. And so I would go get put in my room all the time. And then to pass the time, I ended up asking for dumbbells for Christmas. Once the dumbbells came, I was still getting put in my room, but I was just lifting those dumbbells any which way. And I didn't have a damn clue in the world what I was doing. I wasn't reading fitness magazines. I was just coming up with stuff to do. And all I knew was it made me feel good. It made me feel like I had a sense of control. Like I was able to like dictate what was going on in my life and I could feel like the progress. I could feel the effort that I was putting in. I remember always asking my brother, like after an hour-long weightlifting session at 12 years old in my room, I'd come out of my room all pumped up like, hey bro, can you tell a difference? And it just gave me the sense, and that's why I always am like preaching, you know, get to the gym and go work out, because it's going to do so much more for your mind, right? It makes you feel like you're in control. It gives you something to be proud of, right? And through the struggle of like just all the pain I was feeling, I was able to just kind of put it out on the weights. And so it never stopped. I fell in love with it, and it ultimately ended up, I realized it was just my passion, it was my calling in life, and so I've carried it on. I'm now 38 years old, still lifting as hard as I did when I was 12, and bringing as many people as I can along with me. Next question, how do you increase bench press? So I'm not gonna have time to get into the technical components and aspects of the bench press that would help, but I do think that negative reps and drop sets are two strategies that you can start using during your bench press sessions that will help you create a better mind to muscle connection and help stimulate more muscle fibers. So again, negative reps and drop sets. Look them up. If you have more questions about it, shoot me an email, jasonwhitrock@gmail.com. Do you feel more inflamed now that you are eating higher carbohydrates? Yes, slightly. So when I wake up first thing in the morning, I notice I feel a little bit more rusty. Like I'm not popping right out of bed, right? So that was the first thing I noticed. The other thing is my joints. I have some old injuries from my wrestling days, some tendons and things that I noticed started to become a little more tender, not coming back full blown, but I'm thinking about them again, mainly bicep tendonitis and some little tendonitis in my elbow here, and my knees. I have bad knees from my wrestling days, just always constant impact. So, you know, nothing unbearable, but I definitely notice that I'm feeling like the inflammation might be to blame for the joint pain. Why did you move to Florida? Hopefully okay to ask this, not too personal. No, it's not too personal at all. I'm an open book. So I moved to Florida because my entire family lives here. We were in Austin, Texas for about a year and a half. Before that, we were in Denver, and we were all alone. And with Paxton and Sawyer, Paxton being only 3.5, Sawyer just turning 1, it became very difficult to be alone. We had no real help at all. We always had to rely on either, you know, somebody coming to visit us for the holidays. And it was just tough. And Carly and I both come from strong families. And the thought of my son and daughter not growing up around their cousins or not being able to, you know, be influenced by their grandparents, and it was sad to me. And so we took the opportunity to move here to Southwest Florida because my mother lives here, Carly's father lives here, and my brother lives here, and he has 2 kids. The one is Paxton's age, the other one is Sawyer's age, and they have a third one coming. So it's already been fantastic being around them. Like Sawyer just had her 1-year birthday party, and the entire family was here. We've gotten help, so we've been able to go out on date nights. So really it was the final stop. We've moved around a lot, and this was finally the one that just made the most sense. So we're very happy here. If muscle gain is the goal, which is better, TKD, CKD, or carb diet? So it's gonna really depend on who you are, what your genetics are. For reference, TKD is a targeted ketogenic diet that's taking in carbohydrates before and sometimes after your workout. Cyclical ketogenic diet is typically going keto all week long and then having either 1 or 2 carb days where you're just throwing in a bunch of carbs over the weekend. And then carb diet is taking in carbohydrates with every single meal, hopefully slow digesting. So I've had experience with every single one of these. When it comes to building muscle, if that's the primary goal, I have to say that targeted ketogenic diet is better than cyclical ketogenic dieting. I like taking in the carbs before the workout because that gives me a nice boost of energy and power, and then also taking some post-workout. I did not like the cyclical ketogenic diet because I hated being keto all week long, getting the benefits of ketosis, and then relapsing and eating carbohydrates. I always binged on bad carbs. And it was just like, you're good all week long in college. It's like, I'm gonna study and take tests all week long, and then the weekend comes and I'm just gonna blow it all up and feel like crap the next day. I also didn't feel like eating a ton of carbs was really helping with my lifts throughout the week. So TKD over CKD, but ultimately, as I just found out, going back to slow digesting carbs with every meal is ideal, in my opinion, when you're really trying to focus on building muscle. Will you gain a little bit of body fat in the process? Yes, that's the trade-off. But eating things like brown rice, sweet potato, oatmeal, quinoa, Ezekiel bread for every single meal has helped me build muscle with a little bit of water retention, with a little bit of weight gain. But I just feel it's that's superior than any of the keto stuff. So, but I will say this, you can build muscle on keto, targeted or cyclical. It's just gonna take you a hell of a lot longer, and I don't feel like a lot of people have the patience, nor do I feel like most people train the way they should be training in the gym. So you have to add that factor in as well. Okay, all right. Favorite compound movement, bench press. Do you miss Austin, Texas? Yeah, a little bit. I'll be honest, I don't think about it much just because I've been so happy here. I liked Austin for what it was. I'm glad I got to experience it. It was a very busy city though, for sure. Like, I felt like it was so crowded. Traffic was bonkers. It was very, very hot. It's hot here in Southwest Florida too, but at least I got a pool in my backyard. We've got a beach 10 minutes away. The heat in Texas was just something special, man. I found myself complaining about it a lot. But one thing I guess I will say I miss the most about Texas is the gyms. 100%. I've been at gyms all around the world. There's nothing like gyms in Texas. Hardcore gyms. I really miss that because I'm working out at a corporate gym here and it sucks. It's not the same. You know, the people in Texas know how to lift their weights and they know how to keep it real at the gym. Shout out to Metroflex. If you guys are in the Austin area, go to Metroflex gym. Amazing ownership, crazy awesome gym. I mean, for God's sakes, they got a monkey that runs around the gym, dogs that are running in and out. I love that atmosphere. And then House of Gains was my other gym. I definitely miss both of those places and the people that were inside them. Where in Florida did you move to? So we're in Fort Myers Beach. Are you still on keto? No, currently I am not on the ketogenic diet, but I will be returning very, very soon. Hey Jason, I followed your first keto plan where we had a cheat day. Will it hurt to do it again? Okay, you're referencing my first plan called Keto Cycle. When I first started the ketogenic diet 4 years ago, I did a cyclical ketogenic diet. Like I said, that's keto all week long and then a scheduled carb day. That backfired on a lot of people. It even backfired on me, and I ended up taking the program off the market because I just didn't agree with the approach. If I were you, if you feel like you need to have that day where you're just taking in carbs and you probably just, whatever, you're going out with friends, whatever. Don't do a carb day. Do a cheat meal. So not a cheat day, a cheat meal. That I think is fine. If you got a ton of weight to lose though, that's not fine. You should go as long as you can keto and then have a cheat meal. I never, ever prescribe a cheat day for anybody that's trying to lose weight or reduce body fat percentage. It's kind of like being addicted to drugs and then all of a sudden somebody says, hey, here's the pipe, have at it all day long and tell me how you feel in the next morning. It's bad news. So take that advice. Okay, so somebody's asking, how many pounds of muscle did you build on keto? So I didn't really build any muscle on keto. I've put an entire video out on this topic. I've been training my entire life since I was 12 years old. I'm now 38. I've done about 30 different diets in that span of time. The best part about the ketogenic diet for me and why I started it and stuck with it was because I was able to stay very, very lean without losing muscle. Okay, that was like the critical factor for me. I was needing to be in shape 24/7, 365 for sponsors. And when you cut carbs, like for bodybuilding shows and competitions and stuff, you feel like shit and you can't stay down there for very long. And it's a miserable experience and you end up losing a lot of the muscle that you try to put on in the off season. And keto was really the solution for that. I was able to stay shredded, have a lot of energy and not lose muscle, but I did not build like any muscle on keto, to be honest with you. That's why when I I tried doing like a keto bulk and it was a miserable failure. Just the fact that fat is so satiating means you just can't eat that much. And if you want to grow, you got to eat. So, now that I've gone back to complex carbohydrates, I feel like I have a better chance of actually building some more muscle. Although I'm 38 years old and it's getting a little hard. I love being real with you guys. I like being on this journey with you guys. Thank you for supporting me no matter what. The next video, you'll be seeing Carly and Paxman. Again, go check out Formula. Shout out to them as well. Life is good, guys. As always, keep up the good work and much love.